Hey! Welcome to the bonus room! In this room, I provided as many footnotes as I could about the Japanese cultural topics this game covers. Please feel free to talk to the footnote characters. You may also contact me directly by checking out the How to Play the Bapadu. Alright. Okay, cool. This is gonna be fun. Well, that was a nice, quick story. That was like less than an hour, I think. Huh. Much of the dialogue in the game references the Japanese holidays of Tanabata and Obon. Both of these holidays take place in the summer. Tanabata is vaguely similar in idea to Valentine's Day, whereas Obon is somewhat similar to Dia de Muertos, the Day of the Dead, in Latin America. Huh. The story of Tanabata, to put it short, is of a heavenly weaver girl named Orihime and a farmhand named Hikoboshi falling in love. Once married, Orihime stops weaving, which upsets her father. He forbids them from meeting unless she can finish her weaving by the 7th day of the 7th month. On that day, as long as it isn't raining, Orihime and Hikoboshi can cross the river that separates them and be together once more. There are various versions of this story, but I decided to go with the one since it helped provide some motivation for Minago's reckless action with love. I also chose to use Tanabata as a theme because right around the Edo period, Tanabata festivals were growing in size and popularity. Cool. Obon is similar to the Day of the Dead. It's the day that the Japanese honor their dead, believing they come back from the afterlife to spend time with their families. Many ghosts and supernatural stories that we read take place on or around Obon. Hakuja's snake form is really just more of a snake monster form. In the original stories, when the snake wanted to show itself, it turned into a giant white snake, like, just a snake. Oh. I originally wanted Hakuja to do the same, but it would have been way too much work to animate all of that for such a small game. Huh. These little blue fire orbs are incredibly common in Japanese culture, when people want to give the impression that something paranormal or supernatural is happening. While the Western world might just call them orbs or will-o-wisps, there are many types of blue fire spirits such as Hitodama, Onibi, and Kitsunebi, to name a few. I don't know what to call the ones in the game because I'm not familiar enough with Japanese cryptozoology. For now, I think Hitodama or generally Onibi is best. Cool. The tatami pattern this little ghost is floating around on also has significance. Arrangement of tatami is important in Japanese-style rooms, called washitsu. The arrangement can indicate a host of different events, from simple living to tea ceremonies to regal events. The arrangement I used throughout the mansion is a type often used for funerals. Huh, imagine that. That's so crazy. There's a lot more, and I'm gonna read them all. The designs of the villagers were inspired by woodblock prints present in the books we read, along with references from anime such as Spirited Away's bathhouse servants. Adaptations of Jasei no In often describe times where the snake gives the protagonist copious amounts of expensive gifts in exchange for his affection. In these stories, the gifts are often stolen property from other shrines or nobles' houses. I decided to make the gifts seemingly innocuous: 6 coins, prayer beads, hand fan, 2 books, hair ornaments, and the kimono. However, the white yuzu beads, the 6 coins, the white kimono, and the hand fan were all items one would find at a funeral. 6 coins were often left with the dead to prepare them for the afterlife. The other servant girls were intended to have a stronger presence in the game, but I decided it would take too much time to give them more than what was presented. The adaptations we read implied heavily that the snake was alone with her single servant, and did not have handmaidens in her mansion. I added these handmaidens to give the game some more interactivity. They also helped cement the idea of Hakuja being a very wealthy nobleman. Shimahebi's name literally means striped yellow snake, so I made her skin more yellow hue and designed her clothing off of the snake species that's commonly associated with that name. In other adaptations of Jasei no In, the servant is usually a young girl of about 13 or 14. She often encourages the relationship to continue, or threatens the protagonist to stay with the snake. The umbrella design is called the Jano Megasa. Megasa? Otherwise known as the snake eye pattern. White and red, albino colors, are also part of the theming I gave the snake character. White is also a common representation of death in Japanese culture. White umbrellas are often used by mourners, and the dead are robed in white. Manago's name is actually the name of the white snake demon in Ueda Akinari's telling of Jasei no In. In the original Chinese and Japanese versions, the story is about a woman seducing a man. I switched the genders of the characters because Edo period literature lacked in published female writers and female protagonists in general. In fact, the Edo period is known as the period where female literacy or literature decreased drastically, a significant change from the Heian period, where it was quite popular. In Ueda Akinari's story, the male protagonist receives a sword as a token of the snake demon's love. Since Manago, the snake demon in the original, is the protagonist now, I decided she would receive a white kimono as a gift instead. Various versions of the story, including the Chinese original, described or named the snake woman the Lady in White, so Manago unwittingly becomes the Lady in White herself. Go figures. Instead of keeping the male protagonist's name, I decided to name this character Hakuja Hebigawa. It literally translates to white snakeskin, which is complete nonsense. In many of the Edo period stories we read in class, Japanese authors love to use nonsense names, especially in comedic stories. The names might sound like nonsense or be spelt that way. For example, in English, a king wants to knight a person and asks the person's name. The person says knight. The king would then say, "Yes, I know you want to be knighted, but what's your name?" Or something like that. Hakuja's design is inspired by Heian-era styles and the 1980s anime of The Tale of Genji, so he has long flowing black hair, makeup, and billowy white robes. Due to The Tale of Genji, the Heian era was considered romantic, and many stories from the Edo period noted Heian romances as whimsical, so it definitely justified Hakuja's design. Plus, I don't really like Edo men's hairstyles. I like Hakuja's design. It's very, pretty. In the original story, the male protagonist encounters the snake woman in the rain and gives her his umbrella, to retrieve it later at her home. The scene plays out somewhat similar in the game, but instead of the snake being a damsel in distress, he becomes a knight in shining armor that Manago feels impressed by and indebted to. Well, that was cool. I love this kind of stuff. Man, this stuff is so cool! Well, that's the end. I'm gonna save, though, for no reason, really. Let's just go to the menu. Alright, well, that was Jasei no In. Short game.